We're gonna try something different. We're gonna let these guys talk about baseball. Give them a chance to vent it out. Get like at the beginning of October, it's usually like go Leafs go, but like cheers for the Jays. But then in the middle of April or May, it's the other way around.
It's a
When
good.
they
It's
So
get to
actually
start
really
back
true.
up again. It's
Man,
a
it's like a
never
cycle.
ending cycle. It's a never ending cycle.
this
So
literally feels like deja vu though, because we had this basically same conversation last year.
Yeah. Episode
The game
one.
was actually on Thanksgiving last year because I
I'm
missed one of my
yeah,
Thanksgiving dinners to go to the godforsaken game too. Thank God didn't even make it to Thanksgiving this time. But
thank God.
I will say we're like what now? Last game was on the Thursday, so like what 4 days removed
Close to a
from
week.
this happening. Yeah, so I'm a lot more cooled down on this. And I don't know, we could go through like the Barrios decision and everything, but I feel like we're past that. Like
right.
it's
Well, my bad.
honestly
I was
like
flying.
now. No. I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that. Like I think now the fan base has moved on to like the press conferences that Atkins held. Um, and I'm really done with Atkins just as a every media appearance the guy has is just like just a farce. Like it's just he spews BS. Unfortunately, that's I don't really know how else to put it in a nicer manner. He's just like he loves to give you these PR answers that don't really mean anything. He does it better than anyone in Toronto sports, and I'm just really fed up with it, Dave. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
So out of the three, uh, and the three I mean like in the with the Raptors, with the Leafs, with the
Yeah,
Jays, I wouldn't consider like TFC because I don't know much about their now I think it's now former GM Greg, I forget who it is, but I know they fired some guys, but
yeah.
we're not even going to consider them. But out of the three, between Bobby Webster, Brad Tree Living, and Ross Atkins, who's the biggest puppet master for their president? I would argue it's probably Ross Atkins because at the very least, we kind of have an idea of what Shanny wants. We have an idea. We know that Masai kind of runs shop there, but it also feels
They
like
don't try and
there's no
frame it as
sugarcoating.
something
No,
else.
there's
Yeah.
no
Like we
sugarcoating with the
know it's
NBA.
Masai.
It's
Yeah.
Masai, but I have to say I think Bobby's like expertise also comes into play. Like I don't know
Sure.
if it's like a full one way from Masai in terms of basketball ops, but I think listen, we know Mark Shapiro was the I believe he was the Cleveland then Indians,
Yeah.
then I don't even know if he made it to the I don't think he made it to when they be like
No.
transitioned to the Guardians.
No.
Um
Atkins was there as well, by the way.
he
They
was
both
there, but
yeah.
Shapiro was their GM for like it was literally 20 years. He
Yeah.
was in charge of that team. And that's what this guy knows best. He knows baseball personnel, but I still feel like Ross has probably been in a GM position for close to 10 years now through Cleveland, now with Toronto, and it still feels like he's got no reins. He just like wants he's there to be the face. That's all he is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, his media appearances are literally just they've been the same since he came here. Just a whole lot of nothing. I think like it just very tone deaf.
Yeah.
Very tone deaf. Where he's talking about like Vladdy's excited for the off season. Please shut up. Please shut up. We
Don't
don't
want to
want to
hear it.
hear that. We
I don't
don't
want to
want to
hear
hear
it.
that. We want to hear you, especially when in the same breath you're saying stuff like we feel that the fan base is disappointed and we express like we share in that disappointment. If you do, then you show accountability and you don't start talking about the excitement for the offseason. It's not an exciting time. Like you
No,
should be
it's
royally
it's
pissed that you're
it's
having this
not even
press
a
conference
building
in
time.
October. No,
Like,
it's a reflecting time,
yeah,
right? It's a hard look in the mirror time. And I don't know. It's very obvious that we're not going to be getting that. I don't think. Like Shapiro will obviously be back. Atkins will be back if he's announcing that Schneider will be back, right? So,
yeah.
and he had the comments about the the Barrios decision, and Atkins basically washed his hands of it, saying, "Oh, it wasn't me; it was all Schneider." And I really feel like that's once again a lot of BS.
I think there was, for better or for worse, he had to come out and say it because the talk of the town was, I remember specifically as the decision went off, it was first directed at, like, all the blame was being directed right at Schneider.
The khakis.
And then some higher knowledge people on social media were like, okay, well, hold on. It's probably not just Schneider's decision, which if you look at it from like a logical point, it can't just be one guy making calling the shots.
No, it never is.
There was definitely more people involved. And
I'm not saying that Schneider had no involvement whatsoever. Like, I'm sure he was told, like, you know what, actually, this is a good decision. He said, I can see, he could probably see that side too. Like, he played a part, but not full blame.
Yeah.
Right.
And the level to blame probably went as high as GM, which makes sense because if you are the GM, you are putting together everything from the day-to-day to the year-by-year aspects of the team. So this had to have been the team's game plan rolling into probably even into the playoffs. And we know this is true because they pulled the same shit last year as well. Trying to save they were trying to save Manoah's arm for game 3. Gosman's. It was Gosman's arm for game 3 that they never got to. You know what I mean? Like,
this is also just like a rerun of the Blake Snell dilemma in the World Series in the bubble year where they took him out early. So it was most likely a collaborative decision. It's needless to say, we're pissed though.
Yeah.
Is that the
I'm
final
probably
thought?
not as hot. I'm not as hot about it though now. I think that
you guys were upset,
knowledge, the knowledge of like the Leafs starting back up
fixes it.
It does kind of,
from one pain train to the next pain train.
It's just kind of like it's painting over the cracks right now. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's just painting over the cracks right now. Like those wounds are starting to heal, but they're like the scars are always going to be there. And we're going to see now, through this off season, and that hopefully me and Cristian are actually going to be able to kind of get more up close and personal through the off season. Like, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're going to see where this team kind of takes
really quick here. Literally 30 seconds right here.
Go
quick. You have to do your confidence rankings in the Toronto front offices. Leafs number 1, they have the best players. He can do it if he wants. Leafs number 1, they have the best players. Raptors number 2, recent enough success with the same front office with the championship. Jays 3, it just feels like they can't do anything right now. They don't have a win in this era in the playoffs.
And TFC 4.
Dude, TFC are barely even on the list.
Yeah. Are we in agreement with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right.
I would agree.